what is up, everybody? Welcome to Week 5 podcast. I know you missed us because we didn't have Week 4 podcast last week. I was out traveling. With us, as always, we have Rob. How's it going, Rob?
Living the dream, Sam.
What's that?
I said living the dream.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. And we have a special guest tonight, which is Rob Green Jr., Nolan, a.k.a. I'm sorry, I always have trouble saying it, Rob.
El Oso Verde.
There we go, El Oso Verde. And I'm sure I killed that. Hey, Nolan, how's it going?
Pretty good. I mean, such an honor.
It is. And Nolan, you're talking to Rob, who's a 3-time champ, and then me, who's a 2-time champ. So don't feel intimidated when, talking to us, okay? Just talk to us like we're normal people, but we won multiple championships, okay?
Okay.
Don't get nervous.
Right.
Don't get nervous. Mr. Rob, let's start by looking at the standings here. Only reason why I'm laughing.
We are not normal people, Sam, but go ahead.
Okay. I'm only laughing because when I say let's look at the standing, and I'm looking at the middle screen and I see Zed's record, that's the only reason why I'm laughing, Rob. So, as I said, let's take a look at the standing. I saw Zed's record. So, but anyways, Rob.
It's hard not to laugh at 0-5, huh?
It's tough. I don't see him making the playoffs now, Rob. How about you?
Oh, yeah, no, I think he's just on a collision course with the playoffs. He's just making it really hard on himself this year, So, I'll just tell you this much. Scott will be the first to point out to you, he's got, a lot of points.
He does.
Until you realize that every single week's like 110 to 120. So, figure out a way to score more than 120, and you beat him.
This team's just a whole bunch of iffy players.
There you go. And, of course, we will definitely talk about those iffy players when we get to them. Rob, quick one. New Denver, 729. Oh, that's not the highest score. Wow, Saz has 767.
Yep. I'm calling it the 400 club around here. The 700 club.
There you go.
Yeah, 400 club. No, that's reserved for Ekman.
There's only 3 people in the 500 still. Yours truly included. In that list. Poor showing here. Oh my God.
Well, I'll just comment real quick in general on the standings. I kind of got to walk away, so everybody try to deal with it here. We're having some cross feedback with the 2 phones tonight, but. Division 1 is, I don't know. The Revises they're hurting, man, and poor David's really hurting. He just kind of, just too many injuries, whatnot. I am a little interested in Mark's team, though, coming up in there. Don, Scott was quick to anoint him the champion of this year like he wouldn't be beaten after 4 weeks, which is typical Scott hyperbole, which always gets the commissioner in a jam. But, Gang Green, he's doing pretty good right in there, and just imagine most of my skill players haven't started to function yet, so my team is largely propped up. Your Division 2, it's, Todd, he actually won a game last week with no quarterbacks, so we'll get to that in a second. You're concerned about the quality of that team going forward, so that division is, how do we say, underwhelming? You get wins with 94 points over there. So, and Division C, that one got real interesting last week when both Manny and Michael managed to pull out a much-needed win against guys in front of them. So that tightened up, and then down there at the bottom, that's a free-for-all. So, standings are, let's just say that the season is barely 1/3 over, and we got a long ways to go. So
that's right. And and good for Tar for winning without a quarterback, because I lost without a quarterback.
You had no quarterback either. Huh?
I had no quarterback whatsoever. Injuries, man, injuries. I tried to make a play, but Nolan blocked me. So
Well, you thought you were going to get Matt Ryan last week?
And let's talk about that here later. That's another conversation once we get to my matchup. But, hey, let's go over to the first matchup, Rob, Straight LA versus Gang Green. You did wonderful, 184 points there.
I'm just going to say there's nothing really much left to be said about this game. We both came in down a wide receiver due to some great maneuvering on both parts. And, wonderful pretty much describes it. I'm not going to rub it in David's face. He's a great player. I think that team's really actually pretty good. It's kind of tough to come in with no Cam Newton. And, my team kind of rolled it up. So it was a nice week. Gang Green's pretty happy about the successes going on here. Nice looking team. Again, I'm propped up by quarterbacks. But you know what? We're allowed to start too, right?
Yeah, yep. And I definitely understand the Cam Newton hurt. Because I obviously have Cam Newton. And who's this Howard guy, running back from Chicago? I never heard of him before, and he gets 27 points. That's Rob.
Supposed to be all right.
Yeah, Rob, these last 2 weeks I have watched 0 football games. I've been traveling, working, 0. I do not know what the hell's going on with NFL right now, the last 2 weeks. And again, I'll talk about that later with Matt Ryan and all that other stuff, but I just couldn't have any time watching any games. But anyways, congratulations, Rob. And, Dave Rivas, 121. I wish I would have 121 myself, but, not there. But, Greg Olson blew up too for Straley, so good on him. So let's go over to the next matchup, Rob. New Denver versus Zika virus here.
Well, I think that Big Mark is out there where he can actually is in like a real good spot to get the Zika virus out there in Africa right now. So he started Arian Foster, and and he still won. Noah, what do you got on this game?
He started Arian Foster.
Well, you guys say that he didn't start Le'Veon Bell, and that's a bad thing, but didn't he only get like 8 points or something like that?
Yeah, it's worth about 15, I think, at the end of the day.
He was worth 14, yeah, so it really didn't matter too much. He still got the win. And then New Denver's team had like 2 players show up, including the kicker somehow.
Yeah, the kicker.
You come into this shit without a kicker. You come in unprepared, brother. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, kicker.
I think every kicker this week scored 7 points outside of Vinatieri. So.
Yeah, Rob, did we ever find out what Mark's doing in South Africa?
I have no idea. I'm quite curious on that, though. It's all I know is the internet sucks, and he was doing his his roster by memory. He knew enough that Tom Brady was starting this week, but he somehow forgot he had Le'Veon Bell. But
man.
we'll forgive the man for that. And hey, kudos to him for knocking down Don, right?
Yeah. 108 points. It's just one of those. Off week for Don. Because Don usually gets way more points than that. So,
yeah, he was a little off this week. Missing Russell Wilson and whatnot. It's a little bit of a tough week, but we all have weeks like that. I've scored 64 so far this season one time. So right, and 3 games over 180. It happens, man.
Yeah. Yep.
New Denver's wide receivers are good, except all of them are either they're going to have a big game or they're just going to be a shutdown, so that's kind of a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, geez. Yeah, nothing from Sanders this week. Of course, Denver has that backup quarterback going. Actually, right? Second string or third string? I'm sorry.
Second string.
Second string. Going. So, my Denver Broncos playing at home, losing to Atlanta was horrible when I saw the scores. Again, I didn't watch any of the games, so I just had to look at the scores after the fact.
It wasn't as close as the score showed, Sam.
Oh, what?
They got their ass handed to them, man.
So you're talking garbage time they did all that in?
Oh, yeah.
But Tom Brady coming back, no rest at all. 400 yards. So it was smart for him to draft him in the 4th round. Nolan, do you recall when Tom Brady was drafted?
I think Manning took him about the 6th or 7th round.
Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah, Manning. So smart move on all you guys who drafted him. I would have waited a little bit later, but anyways, what do I know, right? I'm like in last place.
Well, I can tell you, Mark drafted him right about when he went on a run where his buzz turned to something a little more advanced. So.
No, but Rob, I don't know if that's early or later in the night when you say
it's hard for me to tell. My buzz had already advanced, bro.
All right, let's go to the next matchup. Our friends, Wolfpack versus Zed Leplin here. Ugh.
I don't know, man. Sam, I've already bashed on Scott enough. Nolan, you got anything on this one? Sam, you got anything on this one?
His running backs, they suck. His wide receivers, Calvin Bender, he doesn't actually get that many snaps because he's always like holding his knee. DeAndre, I don't know how much longer he's going to be that great because Brock Osweiler's there, and we just saw how he performed against Minnesota. He had like 60 yards and then got garbage time stuff.
Yeah, and Blount is like one of those, the Patriots, it's just, 1 week one player blows up, and the next week somebody else. It's very hard for to determine whose turn is it with the Patriots, Isaiah Crowell, and who I started too, because, I'm hurting at running back. But I don't know why he doesn't start Carlos Hyde instead of Crowell. Hyde is just outperforming Crowell. But anyway, that's Scott. That's Scott for you. Scott.
I can answer that burning mystery. He forgot it was Thursday. Okay, so.
He's a Niners fan.
Yeah, with his own team playing. I know. And what are you going to say? I refuse to pile on, dude.
Sure.
Forgot it was Thursday. It's I got a long text. I'm like, hey, nothing I can do for you, bro.
Yeah, and just to let you know, I think Denver plays next Thursday. That's just for me to throw out there because I'm a Broncos fan and I kind of keep up like that. But anyways, yeah.
Against your most hated rival, Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, Phillips River burned me too. But anyways, Todd did well. David Johnson, whatever. These guys, T.Y. Hilton's just blowing up for some reason.
Oh God, man, he just exploded, man.
Todd finally got points out of Gronk too.
Yeah, 100 yards, 100-some yards, for Gronk there. So he's coming out.
Yeah, but all 3 touchdowns went to the second string tight end who had I don't know, you call it second string, but the second tight end who was very questionable coming back into the game on Sunday until, he caught the next touchdown pass.
Yeah, right when it popped up, he caught the next touchdown pass. That was pretty weird. And in New England, there's no second string tight end because they like to run the twin tight ends.
Yeah, like what's his name used to play there before he went to prison. Yeah, because you're right. You're right, Nolan. They play both tight ends, so really there's no true second string.
Yeah.
Dude, I hear Aaron Hernandez is freaking killing it in the Massachusetts State prison system right now, man. I mean, they don't know how to guard him, dude. It's unbelievable, his stats.
What?
So, if you can find a league within that prison, man, you'd be tearing up. And come to think about it, isn't it like don't they just have 9 tight ends? Some are just skinnier than others. Hey, it's hard to tell, man.
Yeah. We all seen the longest yard. So that's essentially all right. Let's go to the last matchup from that conference, Bruins versus Kelly Knights. Low-scoring game, Rob, 85-94.
Okay, yeah, it's like the worst game of the year, so what do you want me to say, man?
Hey,
I'm trying to wonder why Kelly Knights, he's somehow 4-1 with a score of... Kelly Knights with a score of 596.5 points, and he's 4-1, and he pretty much puts up at least only 100 and lower just about every game.
Yeah, I would talk more trash, but he beat me, so it is what it is, right? So
yeah, I mean, over half his points came from one player, Ezekiel Elliott. There,
he's he's missing Drew Brees this week, which is a big part of his team. And, you know, at the end of the day, well, I mean, why talk about Kelly Knights coming in there at 94.5? How about we focus on the fact that Bruin put out a team to pick up 85, which was largely healthy and playing, you know? So doesn't take much to beat 85 in this league.
Oh, no, I mean, he would have beat me last week, but, you know, but that's another story.
Well, most everybody would have. But
yeah. No, I was just going to talk about Kelly Knights, and now we're going to talk about Bruins. But, yeah, you know, Todd Gurley is finally showing some life, you know. You know, your favorite player, Eddie Lacy, you know, mediocre 8 points there.
No.
Yeah.
The Kool-Aid man didn't go off.
No.
I'm wondering how many times he's going to keep starting Lacy. I mean, has he gotten over 100 yards at all this year except for one game?
Yeah, but I mean, what are his other options, right? You got C. Michaels.
I mean, and what about Todd Gurley? He's been up in the rankings, but he has no offensive line and struggles mostly every week too.
Yeah, his receivers.
The receivers are pretty good.
Yeah, Des Bryant's injured. Evans. Okay, we got that score fixed for Evans, I guess.
Yeah, it's fixed.
Okay, but yeah, hey Bruins, sorry you lost. Hey Bruins, if it makes you feel better, you did better than me. So hopefully that accounts for something. So let's go over to.
I'm thinking absolutely nothing, Sam. You began the whole call with the fact you haven't watched football in 2 weeks. I would hope we'd all be able to beat you.
Yeah. Let's go over to the next conference, Project Badass versus Turf Burner. Now this is a very close game, 150 to 153. I hope you boys double checked your scores here.
They did. This is the bro down, right?
The bro down, yep.
And we got another one coming later, but I mean, you know, finally we're into a conference where things get a little more interesting because, you know, my conference was pretty much bogus this week, all right? The games were just not that interesting. Over here, let's start up a little zing here. The bro down, Michael is on his deathbed and is ready to just, he ain't going to mail it in, dude, but, I mean, he comes out there, you know, 153 is a good score, 150 is a good score, but he, you know, knocked Cody off his high horse a little bit there. And I'm sure, you know, knowing these guys like I do, that Michael's a very happy man still today. So, you know, brought it back into the 2 and 3 range. I think, you know, reports of his death are greatly exaggerated, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Rob, do you know who this Dixon running back is for Baltimore?
Yeah, Kent Dixon, man. He's like the guy that's supposed to be up and coming, but he's not taking my man Terrence Bush's job, man, especially with Baltimore only running the ball like 11 effing times last weekend. So they just keep hucking the ball up there for all 10 points, Baltimore. It's I really don't like that team, by the way. I don't like Joe Flacco. You know his pants are too tight. I just don't understand that team. They fired the offensive coordinator this week. You know, maybe Terrence West picks it up. Maybe Kenneth Dixon, you know, comes in. You know, I don't know. He's injured for the first 4 weeks. We'll see where he comes in.
They have Troopers. He has Darren Sproles. Like, he's the backup. I mean, I think all he's really hoping for is just some punt returns.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some days he might do well, but yeah. But anyways, yeah, like I said,
wait, let's be fair now. When you lose your number 1 pick, Adrian Peterson,
that's
you got to do what you can do, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's why Dixon's in the number one.
I was like, who's the? Because I was sure he had to drop somebody to get Dixon. You know, I wasn't quite sure. Yeah. Mr. Rob, thanks for reminding us.
Well, they are getting about equivalent points. So anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Let's go to
good win.
Good win. High Rollers versus Savs here, 144 to 132. You know, good showing by Savs. You know, Luck and Hyde. Buffalo. Oh, speaking of real quick, Buffalo. They played the 49ers this weekend, and they have Colin Kaepernick starting, so Buffalo will be a good start there. Kaepernick. But anyway, so I'm excited to see that because I would love to hear again, I don't know if it's in Buffalo or if it's in quote-unquote San Fran, but if it's a way I want to hear the crowd sing the national anthem just to, bother him,
Well, it's in Buffalo, and whatever. All right. Colin Kaepernick or Blaine Gabbert or me, that team sucks, dude. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But yeah, Buffalo, 30 points for Savs there. But yeah, looking at the High Rollers who won, Tom Brady, man.
With High Rollers, his top three guys did just about everything for him, and then Oakland had a good game. Everybody else did nothing, but I guess that's all he needed was those three guys.
Yeah.
All you need on a weekly basis is three guys to go off, man, and next thing you know, you're at 150, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I was going to pick up the wide receiver from San Francisco, but then I heard that Kaepernick was coming back, so that changed real quick.
Yes, because he'll be throwing it to the other team. But, hey, Nolan, with High Rollers there, would you be worried with Brady and Breeze combo there?
Yeah, he's going to have to eventually drop one of them, and then that's whoever's in last place and come right back up.
I don't know if he has to eventually drop him. He can sit and wait until the playoffs, you know what I mean? Because that's what I would have done.
If he makes it to the playoffs, though, he's not going to have any flexes, and then...
Yeah.
So
Just to clarify here for Nolan and everybody else in the league, there is no requirement once you use the flexes up to just give quarterbacks out to your competition. I mean, you can bury them on your roster all you want, dude.
Exactly.
And regardless, he's got 5 flexes going with these guys now, and including a Tom Brady bye. That's about as good of a quarterback combo as you're going to find in the league. I can think of one other. We'll get to that one in a minute, but. Yeah, no, there's no requirement to do that.
Nope. He can just shelve them. Just shelve them until playoff time if he makes it.
Yeah. I typically find it not best not to give my competition 40 points a week.
Yeah. Yep. So that segues into my sorry game, and so I didn't have a quarterback going. I read Simeon practice Friday and Saturday, so I'm like, okay, so. That kind of gave me hope all the way up until Sunday morning. I'm like, okay, that, Simeon can at least play, but of course he didn't. Nolan blocked me from Matt Ryan, and yet Nolan didn't even start Matt Ryan, which is the most, frustrating thing for me too. I was like, he picked up Matt Ryan, he didn't even play him,
Really against Denver's vaunted defense there?
I thought about that, but those points are better than 0 points, is what I was going to say,
Yeah.
Todd Gurley, he's having some good games. Crowell, I mean, what do you want me? Look at my running backs, man. I'm hurting there. And
wait a second here, real quick. Refresh me on which good game Todd Gurley's had this year.
What are you talking about? No, he's coming up, man. He did well last
getting over 80 yards.
No, some TDs.
Yeah, you have Lamar Miller.
Oh, thank you, no. Plus,
no, you got Lamar Miller. You're screwed, dude. So do I.
No, he's been getting some touchdowns. Crowell, dude, he's due, Rob. He's due, okay? My receiving core is good still. Des Bryant, I'm waiting for him to come back. Quarterback. I mean, even if I had a healthy Cam, maybe, I don't even know if that would have enough to beat Dave's monster 106 points.
Yeah, you could have come back. You couldn't have overcome that.
I don't know. You think he's going to get 40, though?
Yeah, he could have got 40. Because, look, if old man Phillip Rivers, again, I hate Phillip Rivers, he gets 40 points, but, yeah, Dave, no, congratulations. You just got me on off week. Philadelphia doesn't have a score for them, Rob? Do you see that?
I went back and did it again today. Terry actually did that one, and he had it right. They scored 0. They had -7. They got 4 sacks and 1 fumble recovery, man. He's got it down.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I know. That one looks kind of bad. We'll have to reformat to where it actually does show 0 because it also screws me up when I'm doing the count. But it is a straight 0.
All right. Yeah, I thought I could have taken down Fat Wagon even without quarterbacks, you know what I mean? But,
And Sam, by the way, I appreciate that you're running these names off to me because, as you can tell, I'm nowhere near the computer. I'm just kind of doing this off sheer memory because of the crosswave in the phones in here. But, your team's not that bad. Hang in there, dude. It's kind of tough playing without a quarterback, dude.
It's not, injuries and bye weeks. I mean, they all get us, you know what I mean? But, so with that said, let's go to the final matchup, Code Blue versus El Oso Verde. Nolan, what do you think?
Yeah, I had two guys that both scored 46 and 47. I like that a lot.
That's always good.
I like my running backs, and the thing about my wide receivers is one guy will show up, and then the other two will get 0 or like 3 points, and that's a problem.
Hey, you know what? The question was posed to me today, and Bust of the Year, find me somebody bigger than Michael Floyd, man. I mean, Odell Beckham's knocking on that door, but he's even scored now. He actually shows up on, he shows up on cap sheets each week. A couple receptions for like 38 yards and whatnot, right?
Michael Floyd gets like
nothing.
He gets like 3 targets, no catches.
Yeah, and is Ezekiel Elliott like breaking tackles, or just? I mean, is it just good blocking, or is it part of it?
I watch all his games pretty much, like on the red zone. They like to show the Cowboys a lot, and he's a big guy. He breaks tackles, but most times he just uses his speed to get away. Like if you see, he gets like long touchdowns untouched.
I think that's due to the good blocking by the offensive line too. I mean,
no. I mean, it's a combo of both. Ezekiel Elliott's a real deal, man. There's no question. That guy looks spectacular. He looks, we'll wait till he gets his first knee injury, which happens to every rookie. But I'm not taking him away from Todd Gurley. He's a fantastic talent too. But I mean, let's be real. That Rams team sucks.
Yeah.
Especially on offense. I don't know how much longer you run Case Keenum out there, even though they're somehow like up in first place. No, Elliott's, he's the real deal, man. No argument for me on that.
Yeah, and I remember talking to Tay about Wentz from Philadelphia, a few weeks ago, and I said, man, I should have put Matt Ryan and then Wentz as my other QB. He goes, no, you wouldn't have gotten him. Tay would have took Wentz for me too. I'm like, oh, really? Am I really?
You would have got nobody. The league is set up for parity, Sam. It's you lose early and you get all the draft picks, man. I mean, you get all the the waiver wire picks. So it's
how am I below Nolan and Tay? Huh? How am I below them for waivers? For waivers, well, how am I below them?
Because I don't know. What's your record? 3-2?
Yeah, 2 and before then it was 2 and 3, right?
Well,
2 and 2.
It would have been 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
So
yeah.
You're at 2 and 3. I don't know if you are below them this week. I was watching the baseball game last night. I might have to fix that, but last week, Nolan was sitting there at 1 and 3, bro. You were 2 and 2. That's pretty simple, man. We don't play points. We play records, man. And that's how that goes.
Yeah.
I'll talk about Nolan's team real quick.
Yeah.
That's the number 2. I mean, it's hard to beat Manny on the Brady and Breeze thing, man. Right? That's just nasty with 5 going forward, and it's going to be tough to beat. So do not count him out. That division got real interesting with what those two guys did last weekend. As far as the number 2 wide receiver combination, quarterback combination league goes, that's Nolan at this point. I love Tay. Tay's a great guy and a great player and a great help to the league. But dude, what are you doing dropping Matt Ryan? And you should have seen the waiver picks last week.
To pick up a rookie that gets like 150 yards, he had a rushing touchdown and still didn't throw his first passing touchdown. So it was week 3. Am I right?
Yeah, he said if he would have flexed Dak instead of his running back, I think that would have been enough to beat you. He said. Yeah, but would have, could have, should have. Would have, could have, should have.
Yeah, but in the long run, don't think just because that happened on a dead week on the podcast, we're going to let that one go, man. I mean, that's a bizarre move, even by Tay, who will dump, his entire team out there 3 times on the season. At that time, he was the number 1 quarterback in the league, and Carolina wasn't doing anything. I don't know. Tay, what were you thinking, bro?
Yeah.
It was, trust me, he wanted him back. All you had to do was play the pickup order.
I heard he was pretty mad that he didn't get Matt Ryan back, but the thing was, I had Carson Wentz as my number 1, but I totally forgot that Matt Ryan was available, and I was like, oh, yeah, so hit that pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I joke about dropping Cam, but I'll never do it. You know what I mean? So for him to drop Matt Ryan, that's kind of crazy.
Well, in all fairness, though, it is kind of a brutal schedule there for Matt Ryan coming up, and I'm sure that's what he was thinking. With Carolina and then the Denver, and then this week it's Cincinnati. So I mean, I do see the logic behind it. But had he not made his top 5 moves, and I'm sure he did this tongue-in-cheek, trying to get him back, after he threw for 503 yards.
Atlanta's playing Seattle this week.
Yeah, that's what I said. So that's an odd fit. That's an odd move, I tell you. And especially to pick up a rookie check-down quarterback, man, that loves to hand the ball off to the apparently great Ezekiel Elliott. So that division got really interesting too. I mean, I don't play in that division, thank goodness. I'm over in the kind of like the haves and have-nots conference, so it's kind of fun to watch your guys' conference this year, Sam. And I don't think you're dead. I know Tay's not dead. I know Savage isn't dead. I know these guys, man. I mean, it's a brutal conference over there.
No, we're not out now. I mean, I think the only one that's really dead is Scott. That's about it.
Scott just has a horrible team. I'm hoping he goes 0-12.
Oh, Scotty.
0-14, correction.
Oh, Scotty.
All right, so should we remind Nolan right now of the podcast guest host curse?
So Nolan, everybody who comes to the podcast kind of drops off.
Goes in the tank. If we can't get anybody to volunteer this year, they're like, no, dude.
It's very hard. The only person who ever wants to volunteer is Baldus Jr., Mike.
I volunteered. I've been begging to do this since week 1.
Yeah, no. I think other people like Savs. He knows about the curse. That's why he says he would never be on the podcast. Is because of the curse.
He wants to do it, and Cody kind of recovered, but I think he did drop a couple games in a row last year. The co-host curse. See, that's my problem. I'm a co-host every damn week. I mean, do you expect me to win championships now?
Yeah, and I mentioned to Sav during the draft. I was like, I never been to the playoffs since I started this, So.
Yeah, dude, this league is, this job is cursed, man. It's worse than the bad curse, SI curse, all.
It is, so. Nolan. So if you start going downhill, you know what to blame it on.
Yep. Yeah, as soon as your 4-game losing streak kicks in, man, it's man. I wanted to be the co-host, dude.
I'm playing Sam's dead team next week.
Oh, watch out! It's coming back if you're playing me.
Oh man, dude, I got to get my kid a new bike. He's insulting all my friends, man, in a very fair way, dude. I think Cam Newton's out this week too, bro. That's the reports early, man.
We'll see, because I'm definitely going to start Simeon, tomorrow. So there you go, Nolan. There's my tip to you right there. Is I'm going to start Simeon tomorrow.
I have Big Ben.
Oh, that's all right. Ain't no thing.
Oh, yeah, he sucks.
Ain't no thing.
Ain't no thing. Big Ben and 9 touchdowns and like 900 yards in 2 weeks, man. That guy's rolling, dude. So, but anyway.
Excellent. Well, Nolan, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have a guest, come in and, give their viewpoints.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it is. It switches up. Rob and I gets bored of each other sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's always fun to have somebody come in and mix it up a little bit.
Let me just summarize his viewpoints real quick. Mm-hmm. Your team sucks, and so does Scott's. All right, so
that's his.
We got it under control, man.
There you go. But Nolan, thank you. Rob, thank you as always. So you guys get in your starters tomorrow. Don't forget, like Scott did last week, or else he would have had Carlos Hyde starting. So get your starters in tomorrow, and pickups in tonight. All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Sam.
Bye, Sam.